mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Let's go. Mic check, mic check. Is my mic working? Basement Politics Unfiltered with Freddy Vazquez. Tonight's episode, the mystery phone calls.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just playing with the pads here. Good evening, coming on a little late today. It wasn't, again, going to come on, but I wanted to talk about a little something that I mentioned earlier today during the rush hour report, and that was the phone calls that I received today to the office after I posted an ad seeking someone for office help. The gentleman called the office and was very aggressive and was saying the N-word like crazy to my wife. And this isn't the first time these phone calls have happened since starting Basement Politics. And they usually happen after certain episodes, certain topics, and when I speak on certain individuals. Yesterday, I spoke about Hezi and the Yonkers Tribune, as well as a gentleman by the name of Zahi Jarris. Is anyone familiar with Zahi Jarris here in Yonkers or Westchester County? Well, after mentioning the phone calls to several people today, they pretty much came back with the same consensus that it could possibly be a gentleman by the name of Zahi Jarris. Apparently, by the from the information that I'm getting from sources, he is known to do that. He is known to harass business owners and individuals who are not going with the program, or in my case, speaking against the political system here in the city of Yonkers. And why is that? Well, because Mr. Jarris is a major player here in the city of Yonkers when it comes to politics. He is a very influential and pretty much is a guy that gets you elected. If you allow Mr. Jarris to be involved in your campaign, you're surely to win. You're more likely to win, which is why many of our elected officials have hired his consulting company to represent them during their campaign, during the elections. But there's a big problem with that. There's a huge problem with that. And for those of you not familiar with Zahi Jarris, Zahi Jarris is a convicted felon. Spent 4 years in jail over a Ridge Hill corruption scandal that involved Sandy Anabi, who many say was innocently caught up in something maybe she didn't quite understand. I don't know too much about that. She is no longer around, so we will not discuss her. But Mr. Zahi Jarris is still very active here in the city of Yonkers, in politics here, and is a kingmaker. What is a kingmaker? Well, someone who makes kings. You want to become an elected official, you go through Zahi Jarris. Zahi Jarris was one time chairman of the GOP, the Yonkers Republican Party, before becoming a convicted felon. Now he works closely with the Yonkers Democrats. I guess that's the party you go to after serving time. I want to share some articles here with you really quick. This is from Yonkers Power List. You see that? Make it larger. Zahi Jeris. This was posted on April 21st of 2019. Zahi Jeris is former Yonkers Republican chairman, has transformed his career into a powerful political broker. Zahi has been heading political campaigns and winning elections for many elected officials for decades now and is only 48 years old. Well, at the time of this publishing. Although he hit a rough road, his future in politics and business are limitless. He is a strategic advisor to many Yonkers elected officials. So was I lying? A convicted felon. Now, would you hire a convicted felon to run your campaign? I suppose so, if your main concern was winning, right? Now, I can't let off Mr. Cater off easy, especially because people say that, he is behind basement politics, or the Cater family is behind basement politics. Zahi Jeris was also instrumental in the Cater campaign when he won back in 2019. Am I getting that correct? 2019, 2017 was it? However, after becoming elected, Mike Cater decided to go independent, and that began the problems. Whatever the strategy was there for Mike Cater, maybe he figured this is the way to get in, and once I'm in there, I'm going to really do something. But that's not the deal. That's not the deal. If you take help from the Zahi Jeris crew, you have to do what they say. He ran Tim Hodges' campaign. Tim Hodges hired Zahi. Yeah, that's what I hear also. I believe, although when I did speak with Tim Hodges and his people, I dealt with Steve Simpson, a gentleman by the name of Steve Simpson. Good guy from what I know. But I have heard that Jeris was also involved in Tim Hodges' campaign as well. Tasha Diaz as well. John Rubo. So we have Rubo, Tasha Diaz, right? I also hear that he may have been involved in the city council president's race. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Corazon Pineda, possibly. That one, still on the fence. According to my sources, Shanae Williams is the mayor's girl. She came up with the mayor right out of college, worked for the mayor in his office, and eventually became city council, a member of the city council for District 1. Her support comes directly from the Spano clan. And again, these two teams have a chokehold here on the political system of Yonkers, although they are not necessarily rivals in the sense that they go against each other, although they could be two separate teams from what I'm understanding. However, sometimes they may have a difference of opinions. For example, like in the Tasha Diaz race. The Spanos didn't want Tasha Diaz. However, Zahi thought it'd be a good idea. Nick said, all right, shoot your shot. I'll shoot mine. Zahi won. Why is this important? Why is this important? It's important because these are the individuals that actually dictate policy and legislation here in the city of Yonkers. So when you vote for Tasha Diaz, or you vote for Shanae Williams, or Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, or John Rubo, Corazon Pineda, you're really voting for Zahi Jeris. Spanos wanted Robertson, right? However, that's not what Zehi wanted. We thought while he was in prison, he may have been rehabilitated. When he came out, we gave him a chance, and after a few years, turned sour and went back to his old antics. And what John Cater is referencing there is, again, I mentioned the fact that Zehi Jarris was also instrumental in the Cater campaign. He's also first cousin of John Cater and Mike Cater, which is understandable why you would give him a second chance. That I can understand. He's family. He understands strategy. He's been involved. It makes sense. And after you realize maybe that he was not a rehabilitated man, as we like to believe that prison rehabilitates people, I guess you decided to part ways, and it didn't work out for you guys because of the power that Mr. Zehi Jarris has here in Yonkers. And it doesn't just it's not just confined to the borders of the city of Yonkers. This goes all the way up to Albany. Mr. Nick Spano made a lot of connections up there, built a lot of relationships. And while many may not admit it publicly, they still cool with the guy. That's still their pal. And it's obvious. How else would he be able to have so much power still to this day? Tasha is the best. She is like Donald Trump and tells it like it is. Oh, that's an interesting comparison. That's an interesting comparison. Tasha Diaz and Donald Trump. Well, here's the issue. Here's my issue. And I like Tasha Diaz, okay, because it's not personal. I saw her out there in Serrato Park. She was handing out, the food from Feeding Westchester. And I applauded her. I did. I went out there and I did videos. I supported her and I showed as many people as I can. But I started to learn more about what it really means to be a council member. What are their actual responsibilities? What are they supposed to get accomplished? And while handing out food several times a week is great, and I hate to, and I hate to say anything bad about somebody who does that, right? We don't want to talk bad about somebody who's doing something nice like that, right? They're feeding people, but we have to put it into perspective, right? We have to understand that while that is a great deed, her responsibility is to pass legislation that will improve the city of Yonkers, but not just improve the city of Yonkers, but address issues within the city of Yonkers that need to be addressed. And one of those issues was housing. And I'm not sure how many people read the Westchester County housing report, but there is a housing crisis and there's a dire need. And what she did was she halted, right, or she prevented the opportunity for more affordable housing to be available. Yes, it wasn't the answer. Yes, it wasn't going to be thousands of affordable housing units, but it was a start. And that's how you negotiate. You had the momentum. Now, the developers and those who oppose the housing ordinance have the momentum and have the leverage. And she gave that to them when she said no. She could have went back and tweaked it. Or she could have tweaked it instead of handing out food. If you heard what Shanae Williams said, she introduced the lease legislation. She didn't offer any, anything really in terms of ideas much. So again, it's not that I'm looking to be attacking Tasha Diaz. It's not that. And I don't want people to say Freddy's just on her like a dog on a bone. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. And we have to understand what are their responsibilities and are they handling their responsibilities? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? And she has not introduced, and again, had she said, no, I'm not voting for this, and now here, boom, this is what I think is a better idea, and I want us to go and vote on this, I would have respected that 1,000%. But what it appears to be is that she simply voted no because that's what the developers want. Those are the people that fund her campaign. Those are the people that align her with organizations like Feeding Westchester. Because honestly, if it was about helping, then people would be calling me. And again, only one person had. Well, actually two. Gianna's Family Deli and Johnny Limo from Top Class Limo. Only two that contacted me and helped me. And I'm out there. I'm not an elected official, but I'm a nonprofit. I have that, and that's what we're here to do. And she could have aligned herself with me as well as other elected officials or other organizations and said, hey, take care of this because I have to go to my office and figure out this housing thing. Lorraine Lopez and Tasha Diaz work with Nader Sage to improve Yonkers. And just, look, tell me how. There is nothing left to develop in Yonkers. We added 400 units over the last 10 years. There are no more units to add. Well, because all the units were made for market rate. Yonkers is a city where 80% of the people are living at the poverty line or below. So why introduce so many market rate luxury apartments into a community with those numbers? And exactly why we needed the ordinance. Because you said it, there's nothing left to develop in Yonkers. So we have to put the units in those market rate apartments, right? That's why we needed to increase the ordinance. Investigate the pizzeria in Getty Square. He owns many empty lots. Which one? Sam's Pizzeria? It's the only one I know. Oh, the one on Main Street? A lot of these elected officials own many lots. A lot of them do. I mean, I'm going to get into that in this season 3 of all the elected officials that own empty lots, that own these properties along Sawmill River Road, that they're going to probably be developing next. They know when this stuff is happening. They get there ahead of time. They buy up the properties cheap. Some individuals have bought properties from the YIDA below market rate. Why? And they're just holding them along their hand. Why? Why is the city of Yonkers selling off property only to then lease those properties back at high rates? Why? There's a lot of questions. But going back to this gentleman, Zahi Jarris, who's pretty much responsible for a lot of the legislation, and he sponsors, he ran Tasha Diaz's campaign, right, Jake? You know that. Yes, Sabatino owns a lot. Absolutely, he's involved with what's that company? King's Capital Construction, right there in the corner of a Prospect in Buena Vista. He's involved in the 1070. Is it Warburton Avenue? The Greystone. He's involved with that. He recently bought a unit in there, but I think there's a group of them looking to, if they didn't already buy the building, which the building had been owned by a family. The gentleman's first name is William or Bill. Anyway, his granddaughter was recently appointed to the zoning board. And they own a lot of real estate also. That's one of their big buildings. There's something going on there with Sabatino. I don't know if he had something to do with her getting appointed to that. That was Jean Tickle. That's her name. Her grandfather's very big. Check that out. But anyway, so yeah, Zahi Jarris, Jake, right? He ran Tasha Diaz's campaign. Am I right? Now, if he ran her campaign, let me ask you this. If you are the council member of District 3, where would you do a fundraiser? Would you do it in Pelham at an upscale restaurant? And I get it. You want to bring in big money donors. Guys that wear Hermes belts. I don't want to say Gucci shoes. Sometimes I wear those too. Not in a whole lot. Jean Tickle worked with Mike Cade on Buena Vista. Doing what? I know that her grandfather was very big. I believe he passed away, but they own that Greystone building on Warburton. And something with Michael Sabatino there. But again, going back to Tasha Diaz, I want to know, I'm asking you, Jake, right? She ran, I'm sorry, Zahi Jerris ran Tasha Diaz's campaign. He set up a night. In fact, that's the last time I saw Mr. Jerris, Zahi Jerris, was in Pelham at Tasha Diaz's fundraiser. She had a bunch of people from the police department, fire department. Maybe Native Sage was there. A lot of these social elites were there. She raised a lot of money, but I was a little confused because I didn't see how that was benefiting or inclusive of her constituents in District 3. Again, what does that tell you? And this is why I bring this up. This is why I bring this up about all the elected officials who are sponsored by this one gentleman. If I sponsor you, I'm going to expect you to do what I say. If I get you hooked up with my friends who donate thousands of dollars to your campaign, I'm going to expect you to do what I say. And one of those things is I need you to vote no on the housing ordinance, because my buddies, the developers, the guys that donated to your campaign, that contributed, those guys don't want to add any more affordable housing units to their developments. So you have to vote no. Rubo's already down with it. He's making money with us somehow, allegedly, possibly. So that's what it's about. And that's how it goes, Yonkers. That's how it goes. Yes, Zahi went to jail for tax evasion. He also went to jail for corrupting, for corruption with the Ridge Hill scandal and the Ratner developers. His buddy Ratner. And where did he link up with these developers, the Ratners from Brooklyn? Well, at his Brooklyn gas station, where he was evading taxes. He wasn't paying payroll taxes. And he got convicted for that as well. Him and his partner. Right? And I want to share that article. Nurashel man who co-owned a Brooklyn gas station with convicted ex-Yonkers Republican boss Zahi Jerris pleaded guilty in federal court Friday to a tax fraud that hid $500,000 in wages from the Internal Revenue Service. Can't mess with the IRS. They will get you. Joseph Ratner. He helped file false forms to avoid payroll tax. Now, again, this is fraud. How comfortable do you feel, Yonkers, to have individuals that have been involved in fraud more than once involved in our city's government? I mean, I can give you a list of individuals who have been investigated for fraud. Look into Tryon Property Management on Midland Avenue. Find the Zahi connection. Oh, thank you. I've always wondered about that Tryon. I like that little building there in the corner by the stop sign on Midland. I know exactly what you're talking about. Not too far from Yonkers Contracting Corps. Interested in those guys as well. And I will. And I appreciate this. And this is how I get my information that I research. And it may not always be on, all the way accurate. But again, some of the mistakes are superficial. Mr. Zahi Jerris, I hear now, is a co-owner of Thornwood Car Wash. And guess what I hear? If you want a free car wash and a car wax, bring your ballot. Make sure you check the candidate that he's supporting first. Bring it to him and you will get a free car wash and car wax. Allegedly. Does your partner know about that, Zahi? I'm sure Dr. What's-his-name would be very upset. Native Sage's brother, Nadeem. He's not going to like that you're giving out free car washes there. That's a lie. What's your last name? Oh, Sage. I wouldn't expect you to say it was the truth. And it could be a lie. Could be a lie. But that's what I've heard. And that's allegedly. That's allegedly. But I hope not. Right? He would be cheating your family of money. Let me ask you, why involve yourself? Sage is my father. Oh, nice to meet you, Joseph. Why would your dad be involved with someone who was a convicted criminal? Convicted a felon and for corruption, and specifically in politics. Why is that? Why would he be involved with such a gentleman that committed fraud? I don't think that would it's not a good look, right? Should he stay away? Nadeem went to jail too. Oh, so maybe he's giving free car washes as well. but Joseph, why? I'm just asking you, respectfully. If your father's not involved in any corruption, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, if he's not an honorable man, and I'm not again saying he's not, why would he involve himself with someone who's been proven not to be? And how can we feel confident in voting for your dad if he wants to run for mayor, if he's associating himself with individuals that have been found guilty of various felonies, including political corruption and fraud? Zahi is a great businessman who knew how to run that business really well. He owned a car wash and he was a great help. Okay. What about politics? Business is business. I get that. But what about politics? Hmm? Sam Cater should run against Nader. Not my cup of tea. Ask the limo driver. Is the limo driver still around? Hmm? So I'm getting a lot of information, and I'm glad that you responded, Joseph. I appreciate your response. I really do, and it's all respectfully. I'm not looking to be disrespectful, or rude. I like the caller who called my business and was disrespectful to several people, all females in my office, my place of business. And the name Zahi Jarris kept coming up, although that name has been coming up for quite some time now, as I've been speaking to many people here in the city of Yonkers. He and Nick Spano are pretty much the guys that run Yonkers, according to what everyone says. Even after going to prison, they back at it. He must be a great businessman. And these are the individuals that our elected officials are wrapped up with. And then you wonder why we don't get much done here in the city of Yonkers. These gentlemen don't send their kids to public schools here in Yonkers. They don't live in District 3, District 1, District 2, but they run the people that represent those districts. Why do you think they concern with themselves so much with things that are not directly impacting their district? Zahi is good at sucking on a cigar. Did he learn that in prison? And he's referencing and there you go. And this article here is in reference to Dan Romano, who is recently won for city court judge here. Yonkers Democrats are upset over the negative tactics of political operative Zahi Jarris. Above in courts and city court judicial candidate Dan Romano below. With an upcoming June 23rd primary in Yonkers in the middle of the coronavirus, two factors have changed the dynamics of the Democratic primary for the Yonkers City Court. Negative campaigning, which also affected the city council president's race, and the return to Yonkers politics of Zahi Jeris. And many believe that both are linked. This is an article in the Yonkers Times. With most Yonkers Democrats we speak to saying that negative campaigning or lies should have no part in politics during the pandemic and in the judicial race. However, it was the Democrats who had the most negative garbage in their campaigns. And could it be because of this gentleman and his involvement in our political system here and our elections here in the city of Yonkers? Is he the one funding all these negative campaigns, these dirty tactics? Are these his strategies and this how he wins? Everybody's on the Zahi team just about. I can't say any of our elected officials that are on the people team. I can't tell you. I can't say Mike Breen, he's just there. Moranti, I don't know. Guy's just there kind of too. Yes, I've heard this. Zahi is an expert at ballot harvesting. And this is another issue. Now let's look at the Westchester County Board of Elections. Who's up there? And we'll be talking about them as well. Who's up in the Westchester County Board of Elections? And why are they there? Are they there for a reason? Were they planted there by people? Why did we have ballots come out in the city here without the city council race on it? A citywide race. How did that mistake happen? Tom Meyer Jr. Was he the reason? Tom Meyer Jr. is the son of Tom Meyer, the chairman of the Democratic Party here in Yonkers, commissioner of DPW. He and his buddy Tom Keterman have recently been allegedly, however, there's documentation, harassing an employee at the DPW on Nepperhan Avenue because a family member wants to run and it's not their time. It's not your turn. Do you understand the grip that they have and the power? It's not your turn. So now we're going to get our little buddy Tommy over here to get his other little buddy Tommy to harass the out of you and threaten to fire you if your family member wins. That's what's actually happening. It's actually happening. And it's unbelievable that can actually happen. That someone could operate that way. That if several people can operate this way in our government. This is crazy. This is crazy. So how do we get people that genuinely want to represent the city and the people and actually do the right thing if they have to go against guys that have sharpened their skills in prison? We got a whole club of individuals that have been investigated for some reason or another or went to jail, all involved in our city government, buying up all these properties for cheap through the YIDA that has a gentleman in there that was investigated by the New York State Inspector General for fraud. He and his wife, who runs the municipal housing here in Yonkers. What is she doing? What is this multimillionaire doing? When you sign a contract with Lucifer, you are, well. It's my only God. It's my only source of fear. That's the only thing I fear, because I can pack it up and be out of here. But not many people have that luxury. Not many people can just pack it up and be out of here and still go living a good life. So I don't care. I don't have that fear. But a lot of people do. And a lot of people won't run against these individuals because of that. They're not scared of Tasha Diaz. They're not scared of running against Shanae Williams or John Rubo. They're scared against the machine. They're scared against Zahi Jeris. They're scared against, I should say, Nick Spano. And I showed you the video the other day of the two of them meeting over at Paxos on Main Street. What do you think they were doing? Just having breakfast? I mean, I like Paxos. I go there a lot, but I mean, really? You cannot give up a pension unless the FBI comes down here and picks you up. Then your pension's gone. And honestly, I've heard this now. And the sources have been law enforcement. They're watching. They're really watching. But they want to get this guy on something real. This bullcrap tax evasion and stuff. They want to get something real. And they're going to eventually get it. I've seen this many times. I've grown up in the hood, and, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people there who, commit crimes for some reason, think they're going to, get away with it the next time. And that's proven to be wrong time and time again. Lakeisha beat Mike because the unions put out the calls. Yeah, which unions? Because the unions, according to some people that I've spoken with, they're getting screwed. They're not getting any jobs on these developments. So why would they do that? Which unions? Which unions? Because, that's another issue here. The YIDA, again, infiltrated by James Kavanaugh. Go look him up. Giving out all these tax breaks to these developers, property tax breaks. If you own a home and you pay property tax, think about that. These guys get tax breaks for 10, 15 years, and you get tax increases for the next 10, 15 years. How fair is that? Yes, fire police. Yes, you're right. Fire police, absolutely. You're right. I forgot. Yes, the fire department and the police union, or the fire union, the police union did support Lakeisha Collins Bellamy. That was at the bequest of the mayor, Nick Spano. You saw who was appointed. What was it? Captain, fire captain, or something, lieutenant. See so contracts are not negotiated. You mean contracts to do stuff here in the city, like construction bids and things like that? No bids. If you notice, well, I don't want to shout them out because they're business. They're not in politics, and they're just doing business. They're doing smart business. I can't be mad at them. So I'm not going to shout them out because they're not doing anything wrong, but just being smart. And so I won't. But there's some companies here that they get all the business when it comes to certain, things that need to be done here in the city. And it's always these companies, this company, this company, this company. That's it. Why is that? How can other people grow successful businesses and achieve more in life if everything's hoarded? All the contracts, all the good jobs, all the benefits, everything is hoarded by a handful of people, a small group of people. Right? Like, for example, me, or forget me, the guy over that opened up the coffee shop that he bought from the Spanos. And now he's struggling because they want him to replace the roof, the floors, and he spent everything just opening that place up. So how's he supposed to grow? Right? How's he supposed to, get past and get up to the next level and not go under? Because it's a tough business. Business in general is tough, especially nowadays. But they want him to pay. No raises in the last 4 years. Union contracts have not been negotiated. 456 has not had a raise in 4 years. Vote against Mike and the contract will go your way. Yeah, but the problem is this: the union bosses. The union bosses. Right? Who's the police union boss? I mean, if you want to see these folks meeting, all you gotta do is go to Gianna's, the Italian restaurant, or go to Zupta's. You'll see all the major players there. That's where they like to hang out. By the way, the food is subpar. I prefer to go to Reno's on Lockwood. Who do you think called us? So, from what I hear, this Mike Spano is a good guy. This is what I hear. I'm gonna tell you what I hear. Mike Spano is a good guy. People feel sorry for him. This is true. People feel sorry for him because he's just there. He's in a sense, the way they sound, they make it seem is like he is a puppet. He himself is a puppet. The mayor. They say he's a nice guy. You meet him, you like him. He's always smiling, quiet, soft spoken. But he's got to do his brother's bidding. Big brother tells you what to do. Big brother's making money. And I'm realizing that this has been going on all over New York, towns throughout New York. It's not just in Yonkers. That's crazy. Oh, Mike Spano is on the is that true? Mike Spano's on the spectrum. What he's meaning there is Mike Spano may be autistic. I haven't heard that one. But yeah, according to my sources, Mike Spano runs the Nick Spano runs the show. Vinny Spano is also there, and he's the go-between. The guy that's very likable, everybody likes, who will also be pretty much running everything. He's going to be pretty much running a lot. And I'll tell you how I got that. I'll show you a video of why that's going to be the truth. That's the truth coming up soon. And I know this for a fact. So again, I tell you all this stuff so you guys can understand who are the players behind our elected officials. Because what you see there in front of you, it's just that's smoke and mirrors, right? Like Tasha Diaz likes to say. That's the show. Behind the scenes is what matters. The individuals who are behind the scene, the ones who stay in position forever because they don't really have an elected position. It's appointed. That's how all the power players do it. They don't want to be an elected official where you can get voted out. Those individuals are never usually the power people. They are just the puppet. They do what the puppet master behind them says. And that puppet master never leaves because that puppet master is never elected. They are just always there. They are just either appointed or they are just always there funding campaigns through consulting companies, through lobbying company or organizations. And they influence our politicians because, again, they want to win. That's all they care about. This gentleman here has the money, the support, and the know-how to get you to the finish line. I got a comment here that I'm going to post in a second because I've heard this too. But they get you to the finish line. So you make a deal like the gentleman said with the devil. Again, no disrespect to Tasha Diaz, and I hope that maybe you will have a change of heart, Tasha, because I think you're a good person. I see it in you. And I understand that deep down inside, you want to do the right thing, but you know you can't. Surprise me. Make me out to be a liar. Make me out to be a liar, but there better not be no BS because I'm going to call it. She's not someone who comes from wealth. She doesn't know a lot of wealthy people. It takes, from what I hear, 30 to 40, 50, even 100,000 to run a campaign. And I heard that Anthony Moranti spent 200,000. He wants to be mayor. Where is someone like Tasha Diaz going to get this money? Where is someone like Tasha Diaz get money to go to court and contest or to defend her signatures? Where does she continue to get money to fund campaigns? How does she get aligned with organizations? How does she get aligned with these donors? Because they are these power players that are in the middle. saying, okay, I'm going to put you with this person. I'm going to put you with this organization. You're going to go out there and hand out food. And everybody's going to think you're great because guess what? Most of us don't know nothing about politics. It's the truth. I'm still learning myself. And I'm getting some things wrong. But a majority, for the most part, we don't know. We believe whatever they tell us on CNN. And that's how we make our decision on voting. And that's what happens here. So when we see Tasha, when we see people doing these feel-good events with DMX and you're shaking your booty on Mike Spano, everybody thinks she's great. But the reality is she ain't doing that. That's nothing. Twerking on Mike Spano, the mayor, is nothing. Okay? Handing out food is something. But some of those people come in there in the latest Honda CRV to pick up food. Honda Pilot's picking up food brand new. I'm like, you don't need food. So again, what's really getting done? So don't look at that and think she's amazing and something great is being done. Don't look at that when they do these events and think that's amazing, that they're doing something for the community. Because they're not. They're fooling you. So you can think that, you can believe that, and then you can vote for them again. And then the real power player behind the scenes continues to run the game. And then we crying later. The schools, the money for the schools, Edwin Quesada, and the potholes and police brutality. And well, we got to get out there and vote. Got to get out there and vote. Got to get involved, and we got to know who's really who and who's out there to really help and do right for Yonkers, pass legislation, not just hand out food that will benefit the city. So we have to get these characters out of Yonkers. We cannot continue to vote these individuals who are in there now because they are tainted. They are corrupted by the individuals who got them in there. And some of them admit it. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize what they're saying. Because in order to manipulate someone, you usually want to get people whose IQ level is at a certain, it can't be higher than yours because you won't be able to manipulate them. And that's what happens. So again, and I've seen this in the comments and I've hate to say this, but the reality is it's Shanae Williams said it. Tasha Diaz's limited skills worries me when she goes in those meetings with the mayor and these commissioners, and she's supposed to grasp what's going on and go in there and represent the people. Because calling people the C word or the B word, that's not going to get anything done in that meeting. But I think they know that. They're very smart. They're very smart. They knew that. And that's why these people are there. So that's what it is. So we have to get these individuals out of there. Otherwise, they're going to continue to destroy the city for their own benefit. They're not going to do anything for the people of this city, of Yonkers. And that's been proven. What are we doing in the schools? What legislation, what have they passed? And when I spoke to Shelley Mayer, by the way, when I had Senator Mayer on the show, she made it very clear that additional funds that came where they hired the social workers and counselors did not come from Tasha Diaz. But she presented it that way. I don't know why she wanted to make that clear, but she did. Go watch the episode with Shelley Mayer. They're full of it. They're playing you. They're playing you. You got played, Yonkers. You got played and you're getting played. And it's time to get these people out of there. So again, no to the fourth term, because that is something I hear is a possibility. And that could also be a reason why Tasha Diaz is there. There's not one person on that council that will vote no for a fourth term. Maybe Shanae, because that's a personal thing now with them, because she used to be sponsored by them. And that's the only reason why she opposes them. But there's not one person, I believe, except for maybe Shanae, that will vote no on a fourth term. extension. I want to get to this. Speaking of Shanae Williams, is Vinny still dating Shanae? I don't know. I didn't know they were dating. Although, although I have heard that, and I don't like to put stuff out there like that. But the comment was that I didn't put it out there. So, but I've heard that. Just to in your defense, I have heard that. Tasha has just as much education as Vinny Spano. Well, here's another thing I heard about Vinny. I heard that somebody was saying something about the degree. Maybe he's not his educational background is not qualifying him of the position of city clerk, and we need to look into that. I don't know. That was something I heard as well. But the dating thing, I thought that was funny. I just wanted to share because I did hear that, and I thought it was very funny. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard others. I'm not going to, if you guys bring it up, that's fine. I'm not going to mention it because I want to stick to politics. I don't want to get in people's personal business unless they continue to call my office, in which case, then I will. You don't want that. I don't want to be breaking up marriages over here. It's not my goal. So that's what I wanted to speak about today. I want to speak about this gentleman, Zahi Jarris, because I got this phone call. I got 2 phone calls today, actually, but it's not the first time. I've got him on my cell also. And, and speaking with people about it, this name came up, although his name has come up before, but specifically in regards to the phone calls, he's known to do that. A cousin of his or a nephew also. I heard his son also, Frankie, was also someone who's been known to do comments and things like that, allegedly from my sources. Listen, I don't care if you want to prank call me or whatever. I don't even care. I just don't disrespect my wife. Don't disrespect my wife. Don't come with that. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. Okay, and I don't care what you think you are, and I don't care what you think I am. Doesn't matter. None of that matters. So you want to talk stuff, you want to put it in the comments, that's fine. But leave it at that. Okay, I'm not calling your businesses and being rude to your wives or your female employees. All right, come on, keep it on the field, guys. Keep it on the field. But yeah, so I want to talk about that because I heard that's where the phone calls were coming from, and I wanted to speak on these individuals because I think it's important. No, I know it's important for everyone to know why these elected officials do what they do. Why Tasha Diaz surprised the hell out of us when she voted no. Who sponsored these people? Why isn't the city of Yonkers improving? Think about it. All they've talked about was developers. That's all they did all last year, right? So it's very important that you understand that when you elect these people that are in there now, I say these people, these politicians, they're not there to represent you. They're there to represent their true constituents, the donors, the guys that are going to write $2,000 checks every time they do a campaign. Or they have multiple companies where they can write checks from. So it looks like it's from different people. But it's not. It's just another way to get around campaign finance laws. And those are the people that they have to represent first. Especially if they want to continue a career in politics. They have to do their bidding. And that's it. And that's what's going on here. So either they are on the Zahi Jarris team or they are on the Nick Spano team. But one team they are not on is that's your team. The people of the city of Yonkers. So in the coming elections, we need to get these people out of here. We have to vote completely new. Let's get some new candidates out there. Folks, don't be scared. If you're interested in running, let it be known when the time is right. But let's not vote the same. If you vote for Tasha Diaz again in the coming election, you're not voting for change. You're voting for Zahi Jarris and for his cohorts of developers and attorneys and other people, real estate investors who are all making money. Money, money, money. Wow. The unions, 4, 5, 6 guys don't get jobs on these developments. Schools are left pretty much the same they've been for forever. They give a few things here and there, and they think we're supposed to be excited about that. And many people are. And many people are. But you're cheating yourself if you think that that's enough. So again, to my guy, Zahi Jerris, if you like, I would love to have you on the show. Come on the show. Come on the show. Frankie Jerris, I hear you're a great campaign strategist. I'd love to talk to you. I hear you were very instrumental in the city council president's race. I love to talk to you. And so is Winston Kimball. I love to talk to you. Ask Vinny if it's okay. I love to talk to you guys. Come on the show. If there's nothing to hide, if you guys are doing the right thing, then come on the show and shut me down. I'll give you my platform to shut me down. But don't call my office. Do it the right way. The invitation is always there. And again, I look forward to collaborating, hopefully, to benefit the city. But if not, so be it. We'll see you at the polls. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics. Unfiltered. Thank you for watching. Nader Sage is sponsoring Tasha. Nader also pays a retainer to Lorraine. Look her up. I like it. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate your input. Joseph, I appreciate your input also. Say hello to your dad for me, please. And I would love to have him on the show as well. So if Nader Sage, listen, all this is just from what I'm hearing. So all of you individuals are more than welcome to come on the show and clear things up. The invitation will always be there. Thank you very much. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Don't forget Damian Garcia. Basement Politics. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Peace. Does anyone know anything about the 18 ballots that were found in the basement of the Westchester County Board of Elections? Back in 2004, when Nick Spano beat Andrew Stewart Cousins by 18 votes, those 18 votes were located in the basement of the Westchester County Board of Elections building. From what I'm hearing, allegedly. And the interesting thing was that the person that found the duffel bag full of that had the 18 ballots that put Nick Spano over the edge was Zahi Jerris's wife. What a coinky dink. Political fraud. Time to get it out of Yonkers. We've been talking about corruption for a very long time now. Nothing's changed. Why is that? Are you ready for change? Join me. Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Share, tell a friend, follow, like, and let's make change here in the city of Yonkers for our children's sake. Enjoy your night. Be careful tomorrow. It's supposed to be snowing. Drive safe.
Freddy wins. Fatality. was raised in housing. Like I said, political games that are being played. You could apply.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I went to Yonkers public schools. I don't think you did. We can go on all night with this, honey.